Now coming to chronic stable ischemic heart disease, which previously used to be designated as chronic stable angina, but chronic stable angina is an incomplete term because chronic stable ischemic heart disease can have many kinds of patients, some relatively low risk and some high risk patients. Like a patient who complains of chest discomfort and effort, if he has had a angiogram in the past which is showing multivessel disease, has a history of heart failure in the past, or has chronic kidney disease, elevated serum creatinine, they become quite high risk patients and they have to be segregated because they require much more energetic treatment. Antiplatelets like aspirin alone may not be enough. We might have to add clopidogrel, or else we might have to think of adding anticoagulants like rivaroxaban in these situations. And these are some of the new things which have come on the forefront in the last few years. At the same time, we also know by studies like ischemia study that patients with chronic stable ischemic heart disease can be very well managed on optimal medical treatment in which you control the blood pressure to the goals, continue the lipid lowering agents in a very high dose, give them dual antiplatelet therapy, give them beta blockers, and it has been found that if you give this kind of a treatment, invasive therapy consisting of angiography and revascularization may not offer big advantages over just optimal medical therapy. This has been seen even in patients with chronic kidney disease. And there are some places in which a CT scan, if it is done, widespread CT angiograms of these patients can differentiate between multivessel disease, left main disease. But in our setting in India, widespread scanning by a CT scan may not be possible because of its non-availability, expensive nature. So all this has to be kept in mind while we are discussing chronic stable ischemic heart disease in our setting, and that's what has been emphasized in this particular module.